Hey y'all, how you doing today? Hope everything's going great for you. Um, we're coming to you now. I'm coming to you now from the garage again, and back on the $50 318. Now, for those of you who are just catching this really is a $50 318. I'm not lying to you. The big things are, I picked how this all came about is about several months back. I put on Facebook, hey, I'm needing some 318 parts. What I was really kind of aiming for was like gaskets, bearings, that kind of thing. Uh, that never that never materialized. That never happened. So some friends of mine contacted me, said, "Hey, we've got two 318s for sale and two transmissions. Give me $200 for all of it. You come and get it." I said, "Okay, good deal." So got the trailer, loaded everything up, brought it back home, unloaded it. Everything's looking great, right? Okay. Now, in the meantime, I went and bought this. Yeah, this one right here. That's a 360. Okay. Neighbor up the road had it for sale. Came to me like 3, 4 months ago. Said, "Hey, I've got this 360. It's in a 79 Chrysler, Fifth Avenue, or not Fifth Avenue, sorry, Cordoba. 79 Chrysler Cordoba." And I've known about it I know he's had it for about 10 years, and he's had it 10 years before that. So I started that on this channel a couple months back, and it just fires right up. No issues, no problems. Runs great. 75 psi of oil pressure, 15 inches of vacuum at idle. 75 psi of oil pressure at idle, uh, and it idles perfect. So here's what I'm going to do today. I've got the 318 set up and ready to fire, and I believe it will go right ahead and fire. But I need to hook up my starter, or my starter switch. Sorry. So I'll go ahead and I'll hook this up, and let's see. Now, if you're curious about these manifolds, especially this one here on the driver's side, let me tilt this down so you can see a little bit better. Okay, see how crazy looking that manifold is? This is actually an early A-body piece. 64 to 66 Dodge and Plymouth A-body cars, Barracudas, Valiants, Darts, from 64 to 66. When they had the V8, they got this manifold right there on the driver's side. The other side, the passenger side, looks very, very tame, very, very plain. It's just a centered up manifold on the other side. But this one here has this kind of a swoopy, almost header look about it, almost. So it's kind of weird, but I don't think it's necessarily a great flowing piece because the ports are here are pretty small. So it just is what it is. Okay. Let's see. All right. Tell you what. Let's see. Look up the ignition system. See what we can get out of this. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Hmm. Yeah, that's hooked up. Almost like I'm not getting any fire. it's getting fire. Even on that old rusty valve cover, it's getting fire. So let's see. Just need a little coat. I'll explain this to you later, here in just a little bit. Okay. The exhaust you've seen coming out of the bottom there, there's actually ports in these heads for the to duct air into fresh air from a smog pump that used to sit out here on the front of the engine. That fresh air, let me unhook this. That fresh air went in through those ports. Now, because those ports are uncovered, because this is a much older manifold than what this engine should normally be running, those ports are going to have exhaust coming out of them. Okay? But those manifolds, like I'm talking about, I've got one laying right over here. I just wanted to put those manifolds on something to get them up out of the floor. Where did oh, yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to put them on something to get them up out of the floor, because they were just kind of laying around, and I thought it'd be nice to use them. But, see, here's what I'm talking about. See, these are all kind of plugged up with carbon, as you can see right there. Yeah, see, that's just plugged up with carbon. See, this tube would go to an air pump that would be driven off the front of the engine, off the crank, with a belt. And they would pump cool air, clean air, through that pump into here and into these ports. But this is the kind of manifold that engine should probably have. But like I said, I just wanted to put those manifolds on something, and there you go. So, but anyway, so tell you what, let's see. See if I can get it to fire. Gonna need a little choke, I guess. Let's see here. We'll go ahead and choke it here. Turn this down here just a skosh. Get the camera to a selfie stick to behave. It might help if I have the ignition hooked up, and I mightn't it. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Fumes. Turn the fan on here. I've got one fan going already. Yeah, here we go. Sorry about the fan. I know it's loud, so that's just the way it goes. Anyway, you heard it right there. That ain't too shabby. Ain't too shabby at all. Let's go over a couple of things though. Okay. One, I had a bunch of this stuff laying around, like the valve cover. Okay. Had that valve cover laying around. The carburetor. I put that together from spare parts. I had all of this stuff laying here. All of this carburetor stuff I had laying here. Oh, originally I couldn't get the carburetor to work real well because I couldn't get the accelerator pump to do what it's supposed to do. But if you look, see now it works perfectly. It's working really, really well, which is nice because I do have a couple other engines, 2 or 3 other of these engines that will use this carburetor. What I had to do was this accelerator pump actually works off spring pressure. There's a spring underneath this little plate. That spring needed a little more tension, a little more pressure. So I put actually another shorter spring on top of one that was already in there. Created enough spring pressure. It works. Good enough. So that was what was going on with that. Oh, also this piece of linkage right here, I had the wrong one. I've got this one on there. It's great now. So that carburetor is great. But like I said, I had all that stuff here. I had it laying here. It wasn't stuff I went out and bought. Okay. The only thing I had to go out and buy was the oil that's in it right now. So maybe it's a $60 3 tank. Okay, if we want to split hairs. Valve cover, like I said, I had that here. I cleaned that up, and I'll give you a little sneak peek at the other manifold on the other side, which is just very basic. See, just a very, very basic looking 318 manifold. Just a center dump. That's what they used on the early A bodies. I even had the oil filter laying around here, and which is brand new. Okay, and I also had the starter and the flywheel and the bell housing. All of that stuff and all the hardware for it too. And if you notice, this starter is a mini starter. Okay, so if you've got a Mopar small block, and or really any of the Mopar engines from back during that time period, like you know all the LA small blocks, all the slant sixes, yeah, those will fit the slant sixes. I'm pretty certain they'll fit the big blocks. Don't just check on that though. Don't take my word for it. But I know if it's these, they do great, and they only weigh 7 pounds, and parts are really readily available for them. So, you know, and they're really inexpensive to get at a salvage yard. So they've used them for many years, and that's a Nippon Denso starter. I think Toyota uses them. I'm not absolutely certain about that, but I know Toyota or Nissan. I'm pretty sure it's Toyota though. I know it's one of the Japanese manufacturers that uses that. So getting parts for those, not all that hard. Okay. But I even had the distributor cap, the rotor button, the wires, the plugs, and the distributor all here. Okay. So, and I have zero knowledge of this engine's history. Okay. I just got it from a friend of mine. He didn't have much knowledge of it. He said he thinks it came out of a mid-80s Chrysler, which is about right because I looked at the production date. The casting date on that engine is like very late in 84. It's like the 7th month of 84. I'm saying very late. About a little bit more than midways of 84 is the casting date. So I would say that would make this an 85 model engine. I've not had to do a whole lot to it. just put it on that my roll around stand there, and do a few little things to it, and that's that. Um, if you go back in the videos, I did a compression test on it. It just it's just out the roof. But the cylinders were wet. They had a lot of oil in them. I put oil in them. I would imagine it probably, the engine was kind of laying on its side when I went and got it, and I would imagine it probably had oil in it from that. Oil probably got some of the cylinders from that too. So, so that's the way it goes. The thing is, you want to keep in mind, let me extend this up here just a little bit. The thing is, what you want to keep in mind about all of this when you are working with these Mopar small blocks is that the 318s, they made millions of them. I mean, they made just bunches and bunches and bunches of them, and they put them in everything. This one came out of a car because of the center sump oil pan. I don't know if you can see it. I think you can see it right there. That oil pan has got a center sump, which makes it a pretty nice deal. If you're going to put that into a car, any of the any of the Chrysler, Dodge, Plymouth cars from back in the day, they used that kind of pan. If you're putting this in your truck, then of course you'd have to change the oil pan. Okay, but even the truck oil pans aren't hard to come by because they put a lot of these in trucks too, and vans, and just about any kind of Chrysler vehicle you can think of, Mopar vehicle you can think of, they probably put this in it. So, okay. So anyway, wow, I am really excited about this. But $50, man. I mean, you've got a family of 3 might be able to go and eat at Cracker Barrel for $50, maybe. I don't know. It's just maybe for a little bit less than $50, maybe $46 and some change, or $49.99. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about this. This is a really great running engine. I do have an idea where I would like for it to go, an engine I'd like for it to, a vehicle I'd like for it to be in. I don't know if it can work or not because it was never meant to have this kind of engine in it. So we'll just have to see. But yeah, this is really great. I love this. This is why I love the 318s. Durable, pretty long lasting, and I mean this one here has just been kind of like left around and forgotten, and nobody cared. And then I went and showed it some love and put some bits and pieces on it, done some cleaning on it, and here we go. So, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video and stop my blabbering. So, thank you very much for watching. And if you got any kind of questions, comments, ideas, creative criticism, whatever, just put it down below, and I will do my best to get back to you as soon as possible. All right. Thank you very much, and really appreciate you watching, and God bless. Have a great one.